Good morning. It's Wednesday, September the 30th. I'm wondering if you can tell where I'm sitting today. If you've ever been in this room, you might recognize perhaps over my shoulder what's on the wall. I'm sitting in what used to be Margaret Frothingham's office, a well-loved, well-used office. I'm sitting here today because I'd like to prompt you to pray for the work of that particular search committee. Their procedural work is done, and they are now receiving applications. We fear that Margaret did such a good job in her work that anybody who might consider applying feels a little intimidated, but I assure you that we are eager to have the right person in this position. And there's plenty of care that is needed, and all of us are feeling that. So would you act as a committee, a recruiting committee of the whole as a congregation? And would you also pray for Melissa Hardemeek and that search committee as they go about their work? We also want to let you know of the possibility of joining with our brothers and sisters in Congo this coming Saturday at 9 o'clock. There's going to be a Zoom prayer time with David Casali. We know David pretty well from his number of visits here from Congo. And as we have sought to build bridges of friendship and faith with our brothers and sisters there, this is an opportunity to pray for them. Certainly they are feeling everything that we are feeling and more, and trusting the Lord. We have so much to learn from them. You'll find in the announcements that follow word about Inquirer's class, where we're hoping to finish the class that we began last March when COVID so rudely interrupted us, and invite any newcomers who might like to explore life at Blacknell. This is the opportunity. We'd like for you to put on your calendar noon on Sunday, the 11th of October. At that time, we will have a Zoom congregational meeting for two purposes. The first is to alert you to our plans for beginning to welcome limited numbers of people back into the sanctuary for Sunday worship. And the other reason for the meeting is to affirm the slate of at-large members for the nominating committee, whose responsibility it will be to put before you a slate of officers, elders, and deacons for election for later on in the winter. And lastly, I want to tell you about some good news. I have often wanted to think about strategic projects that would help us face the demands and challenges of this time in a way that is faithful to Christ and loving to our neighbors. And we have such an opportunity. Next week, we are going to welcome 5 pods of 8 or 9 students from Durham Public Schools who are in that cohort who have the greatest need, whose home circumstances make it very difficult for them to do schooling from home, who need a safe place where they can go about their schoolwork. And so next week, we will enter into an agreement with Durham Public Schools to welcome 5 pods of students. Thanks to Leslie Sinnesy for working that out so that they can have a part of the building and go about their work in safety and provide the best possible learning opportunity for them in all these circumstances. Lots to be thankful for in people's lives. We want to give thanks for Philip Mullins and his great recovery from his heart surgery. We also want to let you know about the birth of Susanna Wren, born to Stu and Danielle Stulak. They welcomed their daughter into the world. And of course, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. There are those who are mourning loss, even as we are together today. Mindy Lance and her husband Pete have traveled to Texas, where they have buried Mindy's mom. You know about Joanne Hodgson, and I solicit your prayers on behalf of that family. And Pam Penninger has been traveling back and forth to Iowa, where she is accompanying her mother through the last days of her life. Jerry Walter, who we were excited to announce was receiving a heart transplant. At the last minute, they could not do that. And so Jerry and his wife Angela are depending on the Lord to provide this new heart for him. So would you pray for them? I know that they are not well known in our congregation, but that's no obstacle to the Lord's responding to the prayers of his people. Chris Barman is trying to care for her dad in what might very well prove to be the last days of his life. And Sally Epps continues to recover. Those are just a few, and you know of so many more. So I invite you at the conclusion of this little video clip just to take a moment and to lift up these concerns to the Lord. Until next Wednesday, I'll see you then. God bless.